Breaking update from Allen Park. An unexpected quarterback domino just loosened, and it could tilt the NFC playoff chessboard if Detroit plays it smart. I'm bringing this to you first on Lions News Fan Report, straight from a day of calls, texts, and tape. Hit subscribe and stay with me because I'm going to lay out what changed, why it matters to the Lions' January ambitions, and the exact scenario that turns a low-risk idea into real postseason insurance. Here's the setup, plain and simple, no fluff. Around the league, the market for veteran quarterbacks just shifted because a former Super Bowl winner with a rock-solid reputation and a team-friendly number is suddenly attainable. I'm not announcing a move. I'm framing a window. The Lions have a stable QB1 and a locker room that values continuity, but depth is currency when the calendar flips to December. And today, the price of dependable experience just went on sale. I'm talking about Russell Wilson in New York. Yes, that Russell, 36 years old, battle-tested, benched for a rookie after 3 starts, yet still carrying a live arm and a resume you can't fake. The headline outside Detroit is the benching and the noise. The headline inside Detroit is the mechanism. His 2025 structure turns him into an unusually affordable midseason acquisition, the kind of lever a contender keeps in the back pocket and pulls only if the playoff math demands it. Let's slow down and respect what makes Detroit special right now. This team's identity is built on clean operation, physicality, and situational control. The play-action game hums when the run fits are honest, the shot plays arrive on schedule, and the red zone calls are crisp. That isn't a plea for change. It's the reason you guard against variance. In a league where one awkward landing can yank a season off course, there's a difference between panic and preparation. Preparation is what good franchises do when they quietly widen their safety net and keep the main thing the main thing. Context for the numbers crowd. In those 3 Giants starts this fall, he completed 59.1% with a 34.7 QBR, and New York made the switch to their first-round rookie. His 1-year deal includes an $8 million signing bonus that stays in New York. Any acquiring team would owe only the prorated slice of a $2 million base. That's why the compensation being discussed around the league is late round and conditional, not premium capital. We're talking adult math, not fantasy football. Now about that price. Across multiple reports and cap breakdowns, the math is simple. The acquiring team doesn't inherit the signing bonus, only the prorated portion of a modest base salary. Translation for Detroit. You're talking about a cap-friendly, almost plug-and-play veteran who won't jam the books. Combine that with the calendar, trade, deadline sitting right around the corner, and you've got a realistic window where a late, day 3 pick could turn a weakness into insurance without touching the core of a contender. If you've watched the Giants' first 3 weeks, you've seen the duality. The overall line reads rough. Sub 60% completion, a QBR in the mid-30s, timing that drifted as the pocket constricted. But there's still third-level touch on seam throws, and the deep outs keep their pace. The mobility that made Wilson chaos-proof in Seattle isn't the same at 36, and he isn't a pure creator outside structure anymore. That's fine if you don't ask him to be the fire starter, only the extinguisher in an emergency. So what would this actually look like in Detroit? It looks like a contingency plan you hope to never use, with 3 concrete benefits. 1, 2-minute poise. There's no substitute for a quarterback who has seen every coverage shell twice and still operates with breath in the pocket. 2, vertical experience against single high. If defenses load the box to choke the run and sit on the intermediary crossers, Wilson can still layer the deep corner or bang the back shoulder 9 with veteran timing. 3, mentorship. Late season weeks get loud, and a seasoned voice in the room keeps installs cleaner and Fridays calmer. That's not romance. That's process. Let's talk fit and friction. Fit. Detroit's offense doesn't need backyard magic. It needs precise footwork, trustworthy eyes, and a steady hand on money downs. That's within Wilson's current toolkit. Friction, pace, and processing against pressure. The book on stopping him lately is crowding his launch point and forcing him into late pocket resets. Detroit's protection rules and quick game can solve part of that, but the staff would need to tighten his timing landmarks from day 1. That's doable in a streamlined package. Keep the reads defined, keep the drops married to the concepts, and you'll get workable execution when the plan calls for it. What about the culture? That's the real checkbox. This program thrives on accountability and energy. You don't bring in a name, you bring in a worker. By every account around the league, Wilson's preparation remains elite. If the role is crystal clear, QB2, mentor, break glass veteran, then the locker room can absorb the headline without a ripple. If the role is muddy, you pass and keep moving. Simple as that. Timeline and leverage matter here. The deadline is firm. The Giants have a rookie starter and another veteran on the depth chart, and the rest of the league just watched 3 starts that won't scare anyone into overpaying. That's leverage for Detroit. You set your price, you set your conditions, and you walk away if they aren't met. No chasing, no bidding wars, just disciplined shopping in a seller's market that isn't as hot as the brand name suggests. Let me layer in the tape detail that actually matters for a contender. On third and medium, when defenses toggle between simulated pressure and match coverage, veterans who understand boundary leverage and hole-shot windows keep drives alive. Wilson still identifies the slot squeeze and knows where the void appears when safeties rotate late. He won't outrun linebackers anymore, but he can still hold one with his eyes and put the ball where only the receiver can win it. That's the difference between punts and points in January. Now the counterpoint, because this channel doesn't do wish casting. If your QB room already gives you a developmental arm you trust on a cheap contract, redundancy has to be justified by January value. If you believe the internal plan covers 3 weeks in November, you don't spend the pick. If you believe a proven veteran turns a playoff scare into a calm week of practice, you consider it. This is not about star chasing. It's about stress testing a roster that's ready for bigger games. So here's the path I would co-sign for the Lions if, and only if, the internal grades line up. Call the Giants, confirm the number, confirm the role acceptance, and set the pick at the right tier. A late conditional day 3 selection that escalates only with significant snap thresholds. Keep the offensive install tight. Under center play action, quick perimeter game, red zone sprint out, and a handful of deep over shots off heavy motion. Protect the cadence, protect the pocket depth, and let the veteran be exactly what you acquired. Stability in a pinch. And now, the part everyone's been waiting for, the actual news behind the curtain. The reason we're even having this conversation tonight is that New York has turned the page to the rookie and opened Wilson to calls, and the contract math makes a mid-season move clean. That's the signal. Not a rumor mill fire drill, not a hype cycle, just a real, workable door for a contender that wants playoff insurance without sacrificing future capital. If Detroit wants that card in the deck, it exists right now at a price that doesn't dent the future. Before I close, I want your read on it. Would you add a veteran QB2 with a ring for pennies on the dollar as pure insurance for the stretch run? Or would you keep every pick and roll with the plan as is? Drop your take below, tell me how you'd value the move and where you draw the line on compensation. My view, as a Lions fan who's watched this roster mature into a heavyweight, is straightforward. You don't fix what isn't broken, but you also don't ignore edges that cost you almost nothing. If the role is accepted, the cost is minimal, and the staff signs off on the fit. This is the kind of quiet, grown-up move contenders make in late October. Detroit is built to play deep into winter. This would be about making sure one rolled ankle doesn't change the weather forecast. Stay locked in here at Lions News Fan Report. Turn on notifications, hit like, and share this with the friend who lives for deadline week. I'm on top of every development, so you get the full picture as it happens. Detroit's window is open. Let's keep it that way.